Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, Dandavat Pranams, Hari Bol. So welcome to our Jaiva Dharma live stream, chapter 19. And today is Tuesday, 21st of May, 2024. So we'll have a kirtan and then we'll begin. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari O Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Shodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Shodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Unatira Banachari Yamuna Tira Chari Yamuna Tira Vanachari O Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari O Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari O Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ramo Hare Ramo, Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ramo 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ramo 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 Hare Hare, Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ramo 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ramo Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Gaura, Jaya Sachi Nandan Jaya Gaura Hari, Sachi Nandan Jaya Gaura Hari, Sachi Nandan Jaya Gaura Hari, Sachi Nandan Jaya Gaura. Oh Nitai He, 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 Gaura 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 Jaya Radha, Madana Mohan Radha, Madana Mohan Radhe, Jaya Radha, Madana Mohan Radha, Madana Mohan Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Oh Radhe, 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 Radhe. Jai Shri Shri Guru Garanga Ganhabika Giridhare, Radha Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai, Brishabhanu Nandini Vajeshwari Radharani Ki Jai, Nityananda Rai Ki Jai, Sachinandana Gaura Hari Ki Jai, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Jai, Surabhi Kunj Ki Jai, Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om, Asto Tarazara Shishimad, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om, Asto Tarazara Shishimad, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarasara Shishimat Shila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Jagat Guru Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarasara Shishimat Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Paramahamsa Mahabhagavat Shila Gaurikishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Saptam Goswami Shila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Vaishnav Sabhaboma Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Shila Baladevi Dibhushan Gaudi Acharya Ki Jai. Jai Shila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Treya Ki Jai. Jai Shila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai. Jai Shri Rup Sanatan, Shri Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopal, Bhattadasa Raghunath Sat Goswami Prabhu's ki jai. Jai Swarup Damodar Rai Ramananda Gauda Parsada ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem Siga Hosi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gauda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Anta Dweep Mayapur Simanta Dweep Godram Dweep Madhya Dweep Kola Dweep Ritu Dweep Jana Dweep Motan Dweep Rudra Dweep Atmaka Navadweep Dham ki jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Go Govardhan Dada Sarvamatmika Shri Braja Mandal ki jai. Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund Ganga Jamuna Devi Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shrimati Brinda Devi Maharani ki jai. Shrimati Purnamasi Devi Yogamaya Maharani ki jai. Jai Gopishwa Mahadev ki jai. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra ki jai. Ketra Mandal ki jai. Sarva Vignavanasakare Shina Shingadev Bhagavan ki jai. Bhakta Pravar Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. Chari Dham ki jai, Chari Sampradaya ki jai, Chari Acharya ki jai, Akara Mataraj Shri Chaitanya Mat ki jai, Shri Keshav Ji Gaudiya Mat ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Anantakota Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagat Bhakt Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Om Agina Timirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Jena Tasmaya Shri Guruve Namaha Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Taralaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarabhaktaya Namo Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Padantikam Priya Swarupe, Daita Swarupe, Prema Swarupe, Sahajabi Rupe, Nijana Rupe, Prabhuvika Rupe, Tatana Rupe, Swavilasa Rupe, Anapita Chirim Chirat Kurunavartino Kala, Samarapaitam Unnata Ujvala Rasam Swabhakti Shriyam, Hari Purata Sundarati Katamba Sadipita, Sadahradare Kandare Swaratu Vasachinandanaha. Yam pravajantamanapetyam apetykrityam dvaipaino viraha katara ajuhava putre titam ayatayo taravo vinirustam sarvabhutam munim ridhimanatoshmi bhaktiya vihina aparada lakshay shiptascha karmadi tarangamadye kripa tvam sharanam prapana brinde namaste charanarvindam Bhajami Radham Aravindanetram Smarami Radham Madhurashmitasyam Vadami Radham Karuna Bharadram Tato Mamanasti Katyana Kapi Tavaivasmi Najivami Tvaivina Iti Vignaya Radhe Tvam Nayamam Charanantikam. I'm first of all offering millions and millions of Dandavat pranams unto the lotus feet of my most beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om, Asto Tarsara Shishimad, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And I'm offering the same again millions and millions of times unto the lotus feet of our most beloved Nitya Lila Pravishta Om, Asto Tarsara Shishimad, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And again, I'm offering my Dandavat pranams to our dearmost Namo Bhakti Vinodaya, Satchidanandanamane Gauda Shakti Swarapaya Rupanuga Varayate, and to our illustrious Rupanuga Guru Vargya, and to all the Vaishnava and Vaishnavi devotees of the Lord, my Dandavat pranams to all of you. Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhavevacha Patitanam Pavnibhyo Vaishnave Namo Namaha. So, continuing with our Jaiva Dharma study, and we're going to speak on the next the second set of 5 verses from page 830. Jadedvaita Gyanahaya Chita Upadaya Krishna Bhakti Chiradina Upaya Upaye. Such knowledge, which is solely related to the duality of this dull material world, is fit to be rejected. This duality comes in so many different forms. The duality that I am soul, but I'm trying to relate to matter. This is a duality also, as well as suffering and happiness, distress, etc. All these dualities that it's not like we're not centered in the oneness on service to Krishna, is fit to be rejected, whereas transcendental knowledge of the divine duality within the spiritual world, Chit Jagat, should be accepted forever within one's heart, both as the upaya, means of attainment, and the upaye, the goal worthy of attainment. So this is what we're going through in this 19th chapter. What is the goal? Shuddha Bhakti. And this is the goal the means of attainment, rather. The Abhideya Tattva is the means, the methodology to achieve this bhakti, this sadhan bhakti, Shuddha bhakti. How do we progress? This was Brajanath's question. He was lying on his bed at night in the beginning of this 19th chapter, and he's thinking, how am I going to go forward in this? I've learned about Abheda Beta Tattva. I've learned about Shakti Tattva. I've learned about Jiva Tattva. I've learned about the Jiva's being liberated from Maya, the Jiva's being bound by Maya. But how do I go forward in my attainment of the ultimate reality, this Nitya Prem? So he was asking this question, and then Vijay Kumar comes, and together they go and visit Raghunath Das Babaji, and then they ask about bhakti, this path of bhakti, and then Babaji begins to explain this verse, Anya Bilasatashun, which is the focus, and we'll explain this today. Jiva Kabu Jadanai, Hari Kabu Nai, Hari Saha Jiva Chintya Beda Beda Mai. The Jiva is not a product of dull matter, nor is he Kevaladvaita, absolutely one in all ways with Hari. These descriptions are of the Mayic impression. The Mayic impression is that I am this dull material body. This is me, this gross body. And then with the subtle body, with the mind, intelligence, and false ego, I'm trying to attain moksha. Neither of these paths are going to be auspicious for the jiva, so they have to be pure, rejected. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying it a second time. The jiva is inconceivably different and non-different from Hari. So beautiful. These verses just capsulate, like in sutras, powerful arrows into the heart of wisdom. Deya kabu jivanai, dara bhogyanai, dasya bhoga jiva Krishna Prabhu bhakta hai. The material body should never be considered to be the jiva. So we've just said it the third time now. And this earth is not for the jiva to exploit and enjoy. The jiva swarup is Krishna Das, and thus he is meant for Krishna's enjoyment, whereas Sri Krishna's swarup is Prabhu, master and bhakta, enjoyer. So we've said it 3 times in 3 different ways to try and penetrate the dense covering of this material mind and our enormous false egos in this material world, thinking that we have a place here to exploit Krishna's energy. All of us, if we didn't have these false egos, we would be connecting with our souls in transcendental service to the Lord. But it's this identification with the body as being me. Very hard. We talk about it all the time, but who is able to actually walk over the top of that? You can talk about it for 100 years and still it doesn't seem to, unless the mercy of Guru, the mercy of the Vaishnavas is coming. Only this way. It's only by this injection from Guru, from the Vaishnavas, that this mercy, we discussed yesterday the form of that mercy when Vijay, who is the elder uncle of Brajanath, they go and take bath in the Ganga. And Brajanath, he sees a spurti the same as Vijay Kumar. Vijay Kumar is older, more mature. He's the uncle. He's the brother of Brajanath's mother. And he has been practicing devotion for a long time. He's just had the association of Vrindavan Das Thakur. He's a Dhamvasi. He's a very purified personality. He speaks on Srimad Bhagavatam all the time. So there's some difficulties there which are going to be purified, but still we see how Brajanath, in the association of his elder uncle, has the same spurti also. By that mercy, he's also having a darshan of transcendental Mayapur. This was described yesterday. So that's an example of when we're in the association of higher Vaishnavas, that mercy can come down onto us. We have to seek that, pray for that, depend on that, hope for that. And then we will be liberated from this false ego and this Mayic conception that we live in. Jaiva dharma nahayache deya dharma kata nahayache jiva gyan mayavada prata. This book, entitled Jaiva Dharma, neither discusses matters related to the dead material body. This is the 4th time in these verses. Nor does it propound the Mayavad doctrine of the jiva's oneness with Brahm. It's exactly the same as what we've just read 3 times before, isn't it? What is the distinction here? Yes, different words, so the mind is computing in a different way. Mind is very subtle, very fast, very agile. So with different conceptions come to the mind, we can absorb them and have appreciation, and even sometimes we can have realization of these truths. Perhaps not the highest realization, but we can start. Our faith can be increasing the more these realizations come. It's like little drops of water in a pond of these realizations, and they come daily. Each day we will have 5, 6, 10 profound realizations. We sometimes call them wows, when you have these appreciations of the transcendental nature of Krishna. You're reading something, hearing a kirtan, seeing a takoji. Something is coming from the holy Dham itself. Something is coming from the association. And when this lake becomes filled with these drops, then they overflow into tears of affection and attraction towards the Lord. It just comes out through the eyes like that. The heart overflows with tears. We see in contrast, like a madman has nothing in his heart, it's empty, vacant, so no tears can come. But a spiritually mad man who's weeping and wailing, then his heart is so filled with affection and attraction to the Supreme Lord and everything in existence that the Lord has manifested, and especially towards the Vaishnavas and towards the Holy Dharma and Mahaprabhu, then it wells out of the eyes. Sometimes you'll see some venerable old Vaishnavas. We used to see Bhaktivedanta Srila Trivikram Maharaj. He would come with my Gurudev on Parikrama, and he would always be weeping, 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 continually weeping. And then he would get the microphone, he'd wipe his tears away for a minute and start to speak. And then again, he'd start to weep and weep and then pass the microphone away. So many times. His heart was so overflowing with sweetness and bliss in the form of tears. So that's our condition. Nor does it propound the Mayavad doctrine of the Jiva's oneness with Brahm. And this is amazing because we just went through this 18th chapter. We unpacked this completely. What is Mayavad Tattva? This 18th chapter was so amazing for the consciousness to clear so many aspects of what is Brahm Parinamvad, what is Vivartavad, what are the teachings, those four Vakyas of Sankaracharya, and we went right through it very clearly. So some impression will be there. Perhaps we don't understand and we haven't captured the whole chapter, but there will be a good impression of that. And then next time we read it, a greater impression will land. And again, the next time again, because we should read daily. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is encouraging daily. We take this Shastra. Jiva Nitya Dharma Bhakti Tahe Jadanai Shuddha Jiva Prema Seva Phala Payatai. The Jiva's Nitya Dham is Bhakti, devoid of material motivation. The Jiva purified by Seva attains the fruit of that Seva in the form of Prem. So this verse is actually giving us the Swarup Lakshan. Swarup Lakshan means the highest consideration. You have the Tatashta Lakshan, which we're going to discuss today in that verse, Anya Vilasita Sunyam. Then you have the Swarup Lakshan, which is the intrinsic meaning of the verse, whatever we're discussing. If we're discussing a tattva, then it's Swarup Lakshan, aspect of it, or Tatashta Lakshan. I think that microphone behind you, it's plugged in, might be working now. It wasn't working before. Is the light on?
Is it on?
Press some buttons. Press the yellow or the one above it. See if it starts to get a blue light. Let me see it. Is it? Yes, so speak. Try. But speak loudly because I don't think it's working very well.
In this last verse, it says he attains the seva in the form of prema. So when we see this mentioning of prema, we should understand it as bhava, correct? Because you always say that we cannot attain prema in this body.
But we're still focusing. He's asking that it's saying prem. We usually say prem. And that because this jiva can't attain prem in this body, He's not, doesn't have the adhikar for it, it'll explode. But he can attain bhav. But still, that bhav must be focusing on prem. Everything like sadhan has its focus on bhav, and bhav has its focus on prem. So prem is still the highest consideration that we are desiring to attain, that place of prem. So when it says, um, and attains the fruit of that seva in the form of prem, and that prem is the recognition of the attraction between Radha and Krishna, serving that that affection between Radha and Krishna. Radha and Krishna experience this unnata ujjvala ras. This is what Radha and Krishna are experiencing. Unnata means topmost. Ujjvala means brilliantly shining. So that topmost ras is experienced only by Radha and Krishna. And we are serving that prem. So when it's saying here, seva in the form of prem, attains the fruit of that seva in the form. This here means the experience of total bliss in service to Radha and Krishna. That's the prem. Swa Bhakti Shriyam. This is the, yes, yes, yes. This Manjari Bhav, service to Sri Radhika, because we understand that ultimately Radhika loves Krishna more than Krishna loves Radhika. It's her prem, it's her um, affection and attraction to Krishna. But this subject matter of prem is very high and very beautiful to discuss. But we will come to all of these chapters on Rasa Tattva soon enough, definitely. We're galloping there at the moment. So I just completed the translation for the verse Anyabalasita Shunyam on page 431. That I'll just read it quickly. Uttam Bhakti, pure devotional service, is the cultivation of activities that are meant exclusively for the benefit of Sri Krishna. In other words, the uninterrupted flow of service to Sri Krishna performed through all endeavors of the body, mind, and speech, and through expression of various spiritual sentiments, bhavs. It is not covered by Gyan, knowledge of Nirvishesh Brahm, aimed at impersonal liberation, and karma, reward seeking activity, yoga, or austerities, and it is completely free from all desires other than the aspiration to bring happiness to Sri Krishna. So, what brings happiness to Sri Krishna is Sri Radhika. So, we are serving Sri Radhika ultimately. So this sutra very clearly describes both the Swarup Lakshan, the intrinsic characteristics, and the Tatashta Lakshan, the extrinsic symptoms of bhakti. We have to listen very attentively here. Because unless we know clearly what is bhakti, how can we practice it? This is why this verse is pivotal, very important. The word Uttam Bhakti refers to pure devotional service. We have Uttam Adhikari, who are practicing pure devotional service. We have Kanishta on the um, uh, neophyte stage. Then we have Madhyam. And my Gurudev said, you all should very quickly come to the platform of Madhyam Adhikari. We should know the distinction between Vrindavan and Dwarka. If we know this distinction between Madhurya Dham and Aishwarya Dham, already we're approaching the platform of Madhyam. We must know this conclusively. We must think about it regularly. Because then, prior to that understanding, is the knowledge of Vaikuntha. And what is Vaikuntha? It's principally a liberated condition. The four liberations: Salokya, Samipya, Sarusti, what is it? Sarupya, Shar, four liberated conditions. So where is the height of the prem in Vaikuntha? It's limited. It's Vaikuntha Bhav or Vaikuntha Prem. It has its limitation in comparison to the gifts that Mahaprabhu is giving. So knowing these topics, hearing these topics will immediately bring us to the Madhyam platform. And from this Madhyam platform, then we can begin to practice devotional service from this platform, because it means we've come out of that cycle of looking for liberation. We might know it with our intelligence, but with our hearts, are our hearts looking for a comfortable situation in this material world? A prosperous situation in this material world? Do I want to be liberated from all the problems of this material world? Problems are always going to be there in any condition. So if I'm looking for liberation from these problems, etc., this is not the goal of life in any condition we find ourselves in. Huh? The word uttam bhakti refers to pure devotional service. Devotional service mixed with fruitive activity, karma mishra bhakti, and devotional service mixed with speculative knowledge, gyan mishra bhakti, are not pure devotional service. So be very clear. These gyan mishra bhakti and karma mishra bhakti. Karma mishra bhakti is described in the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, and this gyan mishra bhakti is extensively described in chapters 13, 14, 15, etc. of Bhagavad Gita. And Vibhakti Vivek also these four. Yes, very good point. If you get the chance, we will post it on our WhatsApp thread. This Bhakti Tattva Vivek. There's 4 chapters, and each of those chapters deals with one line of this verse. The first line, Anya Bilasita Shunyam, consists of a whole chapter. Jnana Karmadi Anavritam consists of a whole chapter. So this is a very, very valuable book to absorb. It describes clearly the nature of Shuddha Bhakti, this Bhakti Tattva Vivek, of course, written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Very good point. Thank you. So yes, we have, it's not Karma Mishra Bhakti, neither Gyan Mishra Bhakti, are not pure devotional service, because this Mishra means there's some mix of me, of minus. What do I want? I want some fruitive activities in karma, and I want some fruitive activity from Gyan. I want that illumination of Gyan in my consciousness. Mixed with fruitive activity, karma mishra bhakti, as is sense gratification, and the aim of devotional service mixed with speculative knowledge, gyan mishra bhakti, is liberation. So sense gratification means I want to be indulging in the Mayic illusion. I love the Mayic illusion. Therefore, I can only enjoy Maya if I am right on the bodily platform. If I'm thinking I'm this material body, only that way can the spirit soul cannot enjoy matter. It's beyond its capacity to enjoy anything in matter. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati used to say, when you feel the enjoying spirit rising, know that humility is far away, because it's humility that takes us ultimately off that Mayic platform. Humility how? Humility knowing I am utterly insignificant, Anuchit, and Krishna is totally complete and Purnachit. This is what we discussed extensively through the Jiva Tattvas and the Abheda Beda Tattva. It keeps coming down to the same line, the same line. The Jiva is very small and Krishna is all pervasive. If we just realize this one point, we can go forward. You know, it says one point.
What about enjoying in a very nice kirtan?
You're not even aware that you're enjoying. You're not thinking, I'm enjoying. You're thinking, I'm serving. If you're actually becoming spiritually enlivened by a kirtan, that's because you know this kirtan is pleasing to Mahaprabhu, to the Vaishnavas, to your guru. So it's focused, the attention of the kirtan sound vibration is focused on the Lord. If it's, I tell you in contrast, it's very interesting, your question, because sometimes you get people who are not so devotional and they sit with their guitar and they love to play the Hare Krishna mantra and they love the melody and they sing it for a long time and they're all thinking they're all getting high on the singing of the Mahamantra. But is this high devotional? No. I've seen many times it's more of a sahajiya tendency that they want to enjoy themselves on the bodily platform, the transcendental kirtan. Whereas you get the devotees, they are seriously focusing on the sound vibration pleasing the Lord. It's actually completely different. Do you know what I'm talking about?
It's
Do you
very
understand?
subtle,
So subtle,
subtle.
so
Takes
subtle,
a
Prabhu,
very good vision to distinguish so
so
much.
subtle. But you can sense if the kirtaniya is really enjoying the kirtan. Is he enjoying it for his own bodily pleasure, or is he enjoying it for the seva to the Supreme? We can't always tell the distinction here. You have to be very astute. You have to know Jaiva Dharma, because this is going to be discussed in Nam Tattva section. It'll be discussed there. But it really is it's a big, huge distinction between the two. But that's a good question. Only such devotional service free from any trace of desire for fruitive results or liberation is uttam bhakti, pure devotional service. That's the ultimate. Freed from any material desire. Why? Because what has material desires got to do with devotional service? Nothing. The fruit of bhakti is prem. The swarup lakshan of bhakti is endeavors favorable for Krishna, Krishna Anushilanam, performed with body, mind, and speech, and loving attitude of mind, Priti Mai, Manasa. Such endeavors, chesta, and spiritual sentiments, bhavs, are both favorable. Anukulya, and constantly dynamic. We've said this so many times that we have to be having that experience of moving forward daily. We have to appreciate our practices are evolving. Whatever you were feeling and experiencing yesterday, today we should have moved on from there by our chanting today, by our reading today, by our practice today. If we don't feel that we've moved or we've progressed in a particular day, that's good to appreciate that. But now, when I understand that, then I must make more endeavor. If thinking that I haven't really made much progress today, then quickly bring me a Chaitanya Charitamrita, quickly give me my mala. So that can be an inspiration if we, but this quality of humility must always be there. The devotee never thinks he has devotion. When someone says, "Oh, you are a devotee," the true answer would be, "Well, I'm trying to be devoted. I'm trying to be devoted to the Lord." Who can hold their head up and say, "Yes, I'm devoted to Krishna"? I don't think so. Um, Constantly dynamic. By the mercy of Krishna and his bhaktas, when the special function of the internal energy of Bhagavan manifests upon the jiva's own spiritual strength, then the true form, Swarup, of bhakti takes birth. It's going to be described how the Sangvit Shakti, the knowledge potency, comes in the mental quantum. It comes in the consciousness, cognition. We understand these precepts, and as we bring them into the heart, it mixes with the Hladini Shakti. It mixes with Sri Radhika's direct potency, and then realization will come from that. It's going to be described in this chapter. It's described also in the 14th chapter, the same thing.
This is an advanced stage, yeah? When there's some
Well, we all
there's
experience the
distress.
Hladini to some degree, the bliss, or even when you very first began, however many years ago, chanting Hare Krishna, there was some bliss coming from the spiritual world. Otherwise, you wouldn't stay here and keep chanting. Of course, something is transformed within us. So at all stages, some bliss is going. Something is coming, but it's very, very imperceptible. It's like you don't see a flower opening. When did you last look at a flower and see it opening? You don't see like that. We might see it in a slow video or something, but we don't see the flower budding open. So we don't see our own progress also like that. It's very subtle, the progress, but it's still there. In the present state, the jiva's body, mind, and speech are all materially afflicted. When the jiva directs them by his own discrimination, the result is only dry speculation and renunciation, and the true nature of bhakti does not manifest through them. Yes, if you're just doing your own efforts without properly being guided by Shastra, by Guru, by the Vaishnavas, by the mercy of the Dharma, etc., if you're just trying to forge ahead, crash the gates of heaven, I call it. If you're trying to do like that, what will happen? You'll just bang your head and just come back down with a headache. It won't, you can't move that way. That direction's closed to us. Trying to do it the material, that's called aroha panta. That's climbing by the ascending. The actual path is avaroha. Ava is like avatar. Avaroha, that's how we remember the two paths. Avaroha, descending. Avatars, they descend. So avaroha, this knowledge is going to descend. Um, Bhakti does not manifest through them. However, when Krishna's Swarup Shakti becomes active in the Jiva's body, this is what I was saying, when that Sangvit Shakti comes into the heart, mixes with the Hladini, that's directly the Swarup Shakti, mind and speech. And the nature of pure bhakti immediately becomes manifest. That requires a sincere endeavor to begin with. And we're going to discuss this again in the Nam Tattva section, the distinction between pratibimba and chaya. These two terminologies, which are very important. Pratibimba means the reflected idea or conception. It's not actually connecting with the body, it's reflected. If you see a reflection, it's not connected to the original. But if you see a shadow, it's directly connected. So chaya abhas is okay because it will develop. But pratibimba, when I'm not even, the sincerity isn't there to really desire in the core of my heart that I want to serve Radha and Krishna at the expense of my own material acquisition, my own material mind, my own material false ego, everything. I want to put that aside. I just want to serve the Lord. This intention must be there. The ultimate aim of all spiritual activities is Krishna, and that is why real devotional activity must be favorable towards Krishna. This chapter is packed. Every sentence is so potent. Really, really, isn't it? You could write a whole book on every sentence that's here, really strongly. Endeavors performed for realization of Brahm and Paramatma are not accepted as pure bhakti. This moksha is not accepted as pure bhakti. What's the quality of liberation? It's called moksha lukhuta krit. That means I look down with distaste on moksha liberation. I don't want that. That's not in my list of desires. Not at all. Not at any time do I want that. We look at Prahlad Maharaj, for example. So much suffering given by his father, so much torture and pain, but he was never crying out to be liberated from that. That wasn't his prayer. His prayer constantly was only glorifying Krishna. He wasn't asking for protection. He wasn't asking for liberation. He wasn't asking for anything. This is why Prahlad Maharaj is renowned for his nishta, the quality of nishta. Tomorrow is Nrsimha Chaturdasi. So our meditation is very much on Prahlad today and Nrsimhadev. And who is Prahlad? And this nishta in Prahlad we see is a wonderful example. Only he wanted to be with the Lord, to serve the Lord. It's described in that Nrsimha Charita, Prahlad Charita, how sometimes Krishna would be with Prahlad and Prahlad would be very happy. Then it would seem that Krishna went away from Prahlad. Prahlad would start crying, would start being anxious, wanting to be back with the Lord. So this very beautiful description of Nishta. Endeavors performed for realization of Brahma Paramatma are not accepted as pure bhakti. Rather, they are aspects of speculative knowledge, gyan, and fruitive activities, karma, respectively. There are two types of endeavors, those that are favorable and those that are unfavorable. Only favorable activities are considered to be devotional service. So we're going to come to the two distinctions of avyakta and what is it, the other one? ativyakta. These two distinctions of, we're going to come to it. Yeah, you have something?
Here it was saying before, realization of Brahma and Paramatma is not accepted as pure bhakti. And then the end of the paragraph says only about favorable and unfavorable. So unfavorable is not considered devotional service.
It's not considering Shuddha Bhakti. It's
So
not.
this devotional service is just like saying pure bhakti.
Yes,
Okay.
we're still talking about Uttam Bhakti.
Okay.
The whole verse, Prabhu, is only about Uttam Bhakti.
Okay.
The last line of this verse is Bhaktiya Uttama. This is why we say this verse, because there's three types of bhakti. There's Aropa Siddha Bhakti, Sangha Siddha Bhakti, and Swarup Siddha Bhakti. This will be described also. But this Swarup Siddha Bhakti is Uttam Bhakti. But these other two types of bhakti, Aropa Siddha Bhakti, we understand that's what I'm doing something because I like to do it. If I'm a gardener, I like to grow vegetables and I happen to offer them to Krishna. So it's considered bhakti, but it's not pure bhakti because my first desire is to do the gardening, or I like to build. So then I happen to be building a temple. So I like to play music and I happen to be doing a kirtan. I'll offer it to Krishna, but my first desire was to play music. So this is all called Aropa Siddha Bhakti. It's not pure. The original intention was not to please Krishna. That wasn't the original intention. Still was to please myself. Still, this phantom of material I is present, prominent.
Which category is Kamsa and Shishupal going in? Because they were constantly thinking about Krishna, and they got mukti.
Sayuja Mukti. They
But
got merging into
are they
Krishna's
even in
body.
this any of the categories
They are in this,
of
you can
devotional
say,
service?
speculative gyan, actually. They were like moksha, but even lower than moksha in a sense. Well, because Sayuja Mukti means merging into the body of
Yes.
Krishna. So that is most distasteful. So yes, they were absorbed in thinking of Krishna, but in most unfavorable way. And Kamsa also the same, in a most unfavorable way. So what was the degree of their bhakti? Their bhakti was not. This is not bhakti.
So it's not even.
No, 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 no. It's like Chanura and Mustika. Krishna was very happy to fight with them. He likes to wrestle. He likes to fight. Here was a good big challenge. So Krishna was happy. But were Chanura and Mustika performing bhakti? No, they wanted to kill Krishna. That was not bhakti from their side. So this is overextension of the rule, it's described. And then there's the underextension of the rule. When Mother Yashoda, she's feeding Krishna, and Krishna wants her milk, but she puts Krishna down. And this doesn't please Krishna at all. Krishna's not happy. And why? But Mother Yashoda, what is the degree of her bhakti? Because she's running to save the milk, because she wants to feed Krishna the milk. Her motivation is pure love, pure Vatsalya prem. So her motivation is completely supported as bhakti. But Krishna didn't like that at all. He broke the grinding, the yogurt pot. Where are we? Devotional service. Only favorable activities are considered to be devotional service. The word anukulyena means the tendency to be favorably disposed towards Krishna. This tendency has some connection with the material world during the period of devotional practice. Okay, understand this clearly. This sudden kal in our practice, then we have connection with this material world because we're using the objects of this material world to serve Krishna. So we have to sometimes acquire those objects, etc., to serve the Lord. So we're having some connection with the material world. But in the liberated stage, Siddhakal, it is utterly pure, free from any connection with the material world. Why? Was using the same flowers, etc., but in the sadhana jal, I'm having to endeavor to find those flowers, so to speak. But in the siddha kal, then those flowers are already there. Everything becomes very simplified. Yoga Maharishi supplies all the ingredients that I need for my worship. They're just instantly all there, manifest. Not like in a miraculous way, but they're just there. we'll discuss, because there's another verse we're going to discuss this, Klesha Agni Shubhada. And the result of that sadhan is auspiciousness, Subhada. That means that everything is favorable for your performance of bhakti. Everything is there. There's no, I don't have to go and dig a garden to grow the flowers, etc., and become involved, immersed in doing like that. The higher stage, already it's there. That's not such a good example, but I think you get the idea. I hope you get the idea. Free from any connection with the material world. That's a siddha kal. The characteristics of bhakti are the same in both these stages. Therefore, the intrinsic characteristics of bhakti are endeavors for the cultivation of Krishna consciousness performed with favorable sentiments. So the siddha and the sadhan, they're both performing them favorably. They're both performing their practices to please Krishna. This has to become the principal focus. This is all. This is the first requirement, just as pleasing Krishna. Because what's the antithesis of that is pleasing me. And that's again planted on the material platform, right? Fully. If I'm trying to just please me with liberation or gyan or these types of activities, I want to be um, my consciousness brighter. I want to be freed from material distress. I want sufficient funds so I don't have to worry about my material life, etc. You know. Um, While we are discussing the intrinsic characteristics, Swarup Lakshana Bhakti, it is also necessary to describe the extrinsic characteristics, Tatashta Lakshana. So that's what I said at the beginning. This Anyabilasita Shunyam, Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. These first two lines are described as the Tatashta. Tatashta means the things that I should not do. And the Swarup Lakshan are the things that I should do, or the things that will, yes, connect me with Krishna. But the Tatashta Lakshan are like the don'ts, so to speak. And the Swarup Lakshan are like the do's. That's to put it very simply. Sri Rupa Goswami has explained that there are two Tatashta Lakshan. The first is having no other desires. So this is like a negative thing, not to have any other desires. And the second is freedom from the covering of gyan, karma, and other such endeavors. Any ambition other than desire for progress in bhakti goes against bhakti and comes in the category of other desires. Gyan, karma, yoga, and renunciation are said to be antagonistic to bhakti when they are strong enough to cover the heart. You see, like a vairagi, a tyagi, he's so immersed in his austerities that he's only thinking about himself and his various austerities, etc. He's only focusing on that. He's not thinking about softening the heart. Bhakti Devi is very soft. She's very tender, charming, and beautiful. She's delicate. This is the nature of Bhakti Devi. But if you perform rigorous types of austerity, they are like harsh to the jiva to practice. And that creates a covering over the heart where bhakti resides. So that is not to be encouraged. And it's talking about gyan, but there are three types of gyan. We have to understand this clearly. What's this? Tat Padartha Gyan, knowledge that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan. Krishna is the origin of all. Everything is manifesting from Krishna. Krishna is Raso Vaisaha. He's the complete whole personality. This is knowledge. Tat Padartha Gyan. Tat, we say, the men say in their Brahma Gayatri, Om Bu Bu Swat Tat. This means the complete Lord, Tat. And then there is Tvam, which means knowledge of the jiva. And this knowledge consists of the jiva being anuchit. The jiva is very, very small. So this knowledge is good. And the knowledge of tat, padartha gyan, it's called. is very good. These two types of knowledge. But Jiva Brahm Aikya Gyan is the knowledge of Brahm, which is to be rejected. So that third type of knowledge is to be rejected. This is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's description of these types of gyan here. So the first is having no other desires, and the second is freedom from the covering of gyan, karma, and other such endeavors. Any ambition other than desire for progress in bhakti goes against bhakti and comes in the category of other desires. Gyan, karma, yoga, and renunciation are said to be antagonistic to bhakti when they are strong enough to cover the heart. Therefore, pure bhakti may be described as the cultivation of activities that are favorably disposed to Sri Krishna, free from both the above antagonistic characteristics, freed from gyan and karma. That's the second line. Vijay, what are the various distinctive characteristics of bhakti? This is interesting. Now, what is the characteristics? So we've gone quite quickly through this verse. If you look in your Bhakti Ras, yes, in Bhakti Tattva Vivek, this is described much more thoroughly. And also in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti. This is the first step for all of us to actually clear this verse and all its intricacies, intricacies. That's right?
Intricacies.
No, that doesn't sound right. Intricacies.
Intricacies.
Intricacies, yes. He's from Israel, by the way, so he's not English. So you did say it completely correct. Okay. Um, so he's asking about the qualities or the various characteristics of bhakti. This is beautiful. Actually, this whole chapter is incredible. This chapter is very special. It's bright chapter. Babaji, in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1:117, Srila Rupa Goswami has described the following 6 special characteristics of bhakti. Klesh Agni Shubhada, that's 2. Moksha Lokhuta Krit Sudurlabha, that's another 2, that's 4. Sandra Ananda Visheshatma, 5. Sri Krishna Akashani Chasa, that's the 6th. So it's in pairs here. And the translation, Kleshagni, she destroys all kinds of distress. This Agni, Klesh means sufferings. And Agni, we can say like A-G-N-A, which is fire, incinerates. It incinerates all the sufferings. By the performance of our sadhan bhajan, it incinerates the essential sufferings of this world. We don't have to be suffering internally. And Shubhada, she awards all kinds of good fortune. It's like this is the result of our practice. This means like the winds of auspiciousness come around us when we're performing Paka Sadhan. Just everything seems to fall into place. Everything seems to be like a well-oiled situation for us. There's no obstructions in our movement forward. If we're focusing on Guru, we're focusing on the Vaishnavas, we're focusing on Shastra, Sadhu, then, and we're doing our prescribed duties, our prescribed sadhan, and thinking of Vrindavan, Mahaprabhu, etc., then we're progressing forward. There's no obstacles there. So this is Shubhada. All she awards all kinds of good fortune. It's also can be called, we have to be careful for this, it's called Taranga Rangini. This is the fruits of bhakti. Sometimes the fruits of bhakti become overwhelmingly sweet, and you can get carried away in those. Say, for example, if you're traveling on the road preaching, then people give you a nice room to stay, give you the best prasadam. Everyone comes and honors you, gives you a nice seat to speak, and these gives you lots of money and clothes and all kinds of different material objects, and you can become enamored by these waves of the fruits of bhakti. Taranga Rangini. We must beware of that. Beware of that. And number 3, Moksha Lakhuta Krit. I've already said this today. She makes krit, the pleasure of impersonal liberation, appear lakuta, insignificant. That's an amazing quality, characteristic, to really deeply feel that this liberation is absolutely nothing. If I was suddenly given liberation, I would die because I would become materially happy in that liberated state. And then I would forget the enthusiasm to run to Krishna. I would forget sometimes if we're put into suffering conditions, this propels us towards Krishna. If we're anxious, if we're intense about our practice, then if we're feeling I'm not getting anything, that's good. That'll give us the inspiration to constant focus, to pray more fervently, to look more deeply. Where is this current? Where can I get that? Because greed is the essential quality of Rag Marg. The essential quality of Vaidhi Marg is rules and regulations. We'll discuss this also. But Raganuga Bhakti is greed. So sometimes Krishna makes it difficult for us, even in our auspicious sadhana, to make us become more greedy, more hungry, more enthusiastic, more energetic in our seva. We have to be of that nature. It's not going to just drop off the tree just so simply. It's not like that. This place where we're trying to attain is so high, this transcendental world. It's so much beyond this material conception. It's so special and sacred. It requires complete submissive um, service to that realm. It's easy and it's not easy. But when it's not easy, it gives us the inspiration to move forward very quickly. And if it was suddenly so easy, we'd just become complacent. Was it ever easy for the gopis? Did the gopis ever have a simple time? It's practically they were tortured, ran to the forest, all ready to dance, etc., then told to go home after they give up the whole families, give up everything, their shame, their pride, everything they gave up. And then Krishna told them, no, go home. So all of these nuances within the path of bhakti are wonderful to think about, to contemplate daily, daily.
Can I ask?
What?
So, can we say that if someone, a devotee, is satisfied in the he's in feeling the shubhada.
Shubhada means auspicious.
So a
It
devotee is
doesn't mean
feeling.
satisfied, it means
No,
auspicious.
but I mean he's satisfied with all the auspiciousness that's following the bhakti. He's doing pakasadan, and he's all happy. And he's just satisfied in that stage. So can we say that this is um like being in the mukti, like in aspiring for mukti? But even he
He
might
might
not
be
be a.
suddenly attracted to liberation if he becomes satisfied like that.
Mm,
The devotee, I can remember my Gurudev saying, somebody asked him, how can we tell if our sambandha is growing with
yeah,
Guru? I've said before, yeah. And he says, if you're always very hungry to please Guru more, and he says, like myself, I never feel that I'm pleasing my Gurudev sufficiently. And my Gurudev, he would give festivals 365 days of the year. Every single day of the year, he was with devotees in different places. And it was like a festival every day of the year, printing books, taking parikramas, doing traveling around the world, doing so many, building temples, so many savas, writing. And yet he never felt that he was doing enough to please his guru. Never this complacent mood. This complacency will kill us. We don't look for that material happiness. That's like liberation. We're not searching for that. We're searching to render for the connection with the Lord.
yeah.
Okay, I'm going to finish these. So, Mokshalokahata Krit, she makes Krit, the pleasure of impersonal liberation, appear lakuta, insignificant. Sdurlabha, she is rarely achieved. This is Bhav Bhakti. These three couplets, Kleshagni Shubhada, that's one couplet. Moksha Lakuta Krit Sudurlabha is the next couplet. And the next couplet is, the first is sadhan bhakti. Sadhan bhakti is coming to bhav bhakti. And bhav bhakti is coming to the final one, which is prema bhakti. So Sudulabha, she is really achieved. Bhav bhakti is really achieved. We see those verses that we discussed previously. Out of many who are seeking liberation, only one attains liberation, etc. And one attains Narayan. Many who worship Narayan, only one achieves um, uh, Dwarka. Out of many who worship there, only one will achieve Brajendra Nandan Sham Sundar in reality. So all these different stages is very, very, very rare achieved. And then the last two now. Now this is the characteristics of Prem. Sandra Ananda Visheshatma. Her nature is imbued with the most intense and superlative pleasure. And I've said many times this word Sandra Ananda. It's in two divisions. Sandra means nothing else can enter. Sandra, you can write this down. Sandra means nothing else can enter. Ananda, except bliss. Only Ananda can enter into the consciousness and heart at this stage of Prem. Nothing else. Sandra Ananda Visheshatma, this speciality of the Supreme. Her nature is imbued with the most intense and superlative pleasure in service to the Supreme. And Sri Krishna Akashani, she is the soul, means to attract Krishna. These are the two characteristics of Prem. Prem itself will attract the Lord when the sadhak reaches this stage of Prem. Because after Prem, there is Sneha, Man, Pranaya, Rag, Anurag, Bhav, Mahabhav, Ruda, Adiruda, Modan, Mohan. There are these other stages after. This is just bringing to the stage of Prem. We have from Shraddha to Prem. Shraddha, what is it? Bhajana Kriya, Anata Nivriti, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav, Prem. Then after Prem is Sneha, Man, Rag, Pranaya, etc. Anubhav, Mahabhav, and then Ruda, Adiruda, Modan, Mohan. So all these stages come after. So this is like two stages. So this is the characteristics of bhakti. Explain. And now Babaji is going to open these out, and we're going to go there tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll open out this incredible verse. All these verses are, because now we're really focusing on what is bhakti. Previously, it was like we were cultivating the field of knowledge to become qualified to enter into the path of Shuddha Bhakti or pure Bhakti, sadhan Bhakti. So now we're entering this path of pure Bhakti. So these verses are just really sublime, very, very beautiful part of this Jaiva Dharma. And like you said, this Tattva, Bhakti Tattva Vivek, we'll put that on our WhatsApp thread.
We're now learning, so it's just finish this book.
Aha.
It's my brother.
Aha.
And I remember a lot of.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, Jaiva Dhamma ki jai, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Ananta Kota Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Go Premanandi. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Rama Rama, Hare Nitai Gora, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Nitai Gora, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Go, Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhavyacha, Patitanam Bhavnibhyo, Vaishnave Namo Namaha.